You alright? You alright, baby?
Phil walks the tree line when the sun goes down. Boots in the gravel on the edge of town. Backpack rattles with a lantern and a map. Looking for the thing
behind it. And then 2 3-foot tall, 3.5-foot tall guardians with glowing red eyes were there.
Boys been chasing shadows in the midnight grass. But Phil just smiles at the cold night air. 'Cause something out there knows he's there. In the rustle of leaves.
Kid, I've experienced everything from angels to demons to ghosts to all kinds of other things I can't explain. I had my first Bigfoot encounter back around 2012 or something like that.
Chasing ghostly echoes in the pale moonlight, from forgotten forests to the deserts deep, where the old bones hide and the spirits creep. With a camera and courage and a trail to see, he'll follow any legend through eternity. Yeah, the world's full of whispers most folks never see, but they all know.
I think disclosure is inevitable for one simple fact. This is true. UFOs are real. You can ignore the truth, you can distort it, you can hide it, you can lie about it, but you will never destroy it.
Lights dancing in a cold black sky. Track band branches where the tall grass sways. Heard something breathing in the forest.
A guy standing next to my bedroom door, only at night, and he stood there, and I was 3-4 years old, and my mom thought I was crazy.
And when the fire burns low and the coyotes sing, you can bet he's hunting something strange again. Through the static and dark, through the myth and the lore.
Obviously, I believe that these things exist after the stuff I've seen. So you can't say to someone who's seen stuff, these things aren't real. Obviously, But yeah, people keep telling me they're not real, but I know they are.
free.
I should change that really, because it's a bit of a shot of my butt at the end there. But right, as for Phil running wild and free, not in this weather, I can tell you. No, too hot, far too hot. And the thing is, look, it's happened all of a sudden. I was in a cardigan not 2 days ago. I was going about in a cardigan, and I mean, if anyone knows, well, I'm not one to moan. You know, I mean, so like some people would say, Phil, you're only happy, truly happy when you're moaning. I don't think that's true, but it was quite chilly. Maybe a little moan came out or not, thinking, cool, what sort of summer's this? And then all of a sudden, bingo bango, like a heat wave again. Unbelievable, really hot. And if anyone rides a bike or motorcycle or scooter or anything like that, being a car driver, I'll tell you what, it's not all fun and games, all right? Because when you're on a bike and it's this sort of weather, it's 36 degrees in the UK at the moment, and the sun's changed, sun's different. But when you're on a bike, it's like someone's turned on a hairdryer as you're going along. It's so hot, the air is. It's like someone's got a hairdryer on you. But other than that, no, happy Friday and welcome to the Friday Night Files, a Dogman TP hunting production. Hope you've had a great week, and the week's over. So you can just relax, chill, because the football's on as well. So it's on quite late. So about 11 o'clock, I think, kick off. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to win. Scotland. You know, it's got to be Scotland, isn't it? Let's face it. But well, they're pigs, aren't they? You know, they're well hard, so they're just gonna, they're just gonna win, aren't they? But yeah, so it's all good. This week we've got Josh Miota. I hope I pronounced that right. I usually butcher people's names. People have numbers, it'd be a lot easier. I'm pretty good at numbers. But yeah, last time I spoke to him was, I think it was last year now. Anyway, he's from Wisconsin, and he's got quite a lot to talk about when it comes to cryptid, supernatural, and we're just going to chew the fat, relax on this lovely, lovely sunny day, and see where it leads us. How about that? Okay. If you've got any questions, capital Q, stick it in the comments, and then Roxy will highlight it. And I would just want to thank the moderators as well. That's Kate, Dawn, Keith, Larry, for moderating. Do truly appreciate it. Right, I shall bring up Josh now. Let's have a look. Hello, Josh.
Hello. How's it going, everybody?
I'm going to move you over because you're right by the comments. There you go. I'll have the comments going up my t-shirt instead. That'll be all right. Yeah. So how are you, fella?
I'm doing all right. Can't complain.
I like the t-shirt, man. That's nice.
Thank you. It's actually Lost to the Rabbit Hole. It's my show.
Yes.
If you want one, go to the website. You can order them.
Oh wow. Okay. Right. Yeah. All right. Well, actually, I'm way ahead of you there. I'm way ahead of you. Right, people. Listen, if you want to have a look, check out his website. I'll just let's have a look. Okay, here we go. Let's check this out. Okay, and here we go. That's you, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Sorry about this, Josh, but no donation today. Right. Okay. Here we go. Lost through the rabbit hole. What have you got on there? Let's have a look. Lost through the rabbit hole. Okay. Look, biop. That's lovely. Oh yeah, that's it. Because the last time we spoke was on a Dark Mirror radio show with Mark Manley, wasn't it?
Yeah. And Wayne too.
And
Wayne.
Yeah. I like. They're both lovely, lovely guys. Both lovely guys. Because I remember going on the show. That's it. And so let people check out. This is his website, and I'm going to show you as well. it doesn't stop there. This is the gift that keeps on giving. This is. Got also. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Got your Facebook there somewhere. There we go. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Right. So, no, that's not your Facebook. Hang on a minute. I'll get it. Let's have a look. Josh Miota. Okay. Can you see that?
Yeah, that's my personal one.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Lost
what
in the
the
rabbit
hell?
hole has its own too.
Oh,
If
is it?
anybody wants to have me, feel free to, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, 756 friends. That's not bad anyway. That's okay. Yeah. But I thought I had a few more things up there as well. Oh, got your hang on. Yeah, I'll tell you what I have got. I've got your YouTube. I've got your YouTube, Josh. 1 minute. Let's get that up. Yeah.
Awesome.
There we go. That's your YouTube, isn't it?
Yep.
That's it, Phil. That's the one. Yep, that's it. Thank goodness for that. At least I got that right. There we go.
A lot of familiar faces in your intro.
Oh, was
You
there?
see, I got Preston on there too. Couple
Oh,
others.
okay. Yeah. 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 Let's have a look. You've had quite a few guests as well.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Nick Moulay. Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, Nick? If you're watching, how's it going, buddy? He's actually just a state over from me. He's in Illinois. Touches
Oh, is he?
our state stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You do quite. Yeah. You've had quite a few guests on, haven't you? Yeah.
Yeah. I pretty much just only
Okay.
do interviews with Lost to the Rabbit Hole.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. No, brilliant. Excellent. Yeah. No, that's good. No, I was just thinking, I was going to ask you, who was your favorite, but I can't do that, can I? I can't.
Right.
Tell me afterwards. Yeah. But no, they've each got, every guest I've had on's like kind of got they've all been unique, and I've just been grateful for every guest like you have, really, that's come on,
Right.
but I'm grateful for anyone. To be honest, Josh, I'm grateful for anyone that talks to me.
Same.
That old lady on the bus, I'll just natter her ear off, if she's like willing to listen. I'm quite quite for anyone, really. Right, so Wisconsin, that's where you live, isn't it?
That is.
Right. Okay. What with Wisconsin? What you've got a lot of stories coming from there. A lot of stuff goes on.
Our cryptid here is the Beast of Bray Road, which I'm sure you're aware of.
Yeah. What do you think it is about? But what do you think it is about Wisconsin, and not just Wisconsin, but places like Wisconsin? What is it, the geography or the history of the upper Midwest that seems to draw in both high-strung cryptids, cryptid activity?
I'd say it's both, and it's our woodlands and our lakes. I'd probably have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, the geography of it all. We're way more wooded than most other places in the country.
Do you get a lot of? Have you ever come across any UFO stuff?
Oh yeah, quite a bit. I'm an experiencer. My family is. My grandfather had a ton of experiences. I had a cryptid experience with him as a child, which kind of got me into doing all this. Yeah, and I used to be a paranormal investigator in my 20s. So I'm all over the board.
Okay, all right. Given that background, I mean, what was there a standout moment that you thought to yourself, wow, I can't get that out of my head? and because I can't get it out of my head, whatever experience you had, you sort of obviously followed up on it. You've obviously dug deep into the subject to try and understand.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us what the experience was that changed you? You would say the most.
Oh man, I feel like once you have an experience, you just keep having them. At least that's what
Yeah,
happens with me. As a very
yeah.
young child, I was with my grandfather way up north, um, deep in the woods. We were hiking. He saw something that freaked him out, and he picked me up, and we ran. And my grandfather was like, if anybody who knows him was watching, he was like cold as ice dude, avid hunter, bear hunter, really into like history, and like he's a pretty tough dude, pretty tough dude. And like for him to get all panicked like that, uh, it's kind of it changed me a little bit, and I really have like vague memories of it, but I've done a lot of work with mediums, and they've asked me about it, and they're like, you had a Wendigo experience.
A Wendigo.
Yeah, and I've had multiple people tell me this that were
All right,
mediums.
yeah, but break it down for me. But go a little bit step by step. What actually? I know it was a long time ago. You must have
Okay.
been young, but what was your impression at least? What happened? What did you see?
I didn't really remember seeing anything except being swooped up, and he literally like fireman carried me to the truck, and he was like a pretty calm guy, and like, for him to get like shaken was, and he was always armed too. He's always had pretty high caliber on his hip, so he was armed at the time too. For him to flee like that was kind of terrifying.
Weird. Okay. Well, did he ever speak about it later on? Did you ever ask him later on? You know, when you got a bit older, did you ever say, "Look,
He actually
Gramps"?
passed away when I was pretty young, so
Oh,
I
bugger. Sorry,
unfortunately
man.
didn't. But
Oh,
he
sorry.
also had a ton of UFO experiences. One, he actually shot at them because he was so sick of seeing them. I'm not like, yeah, so I mean, that's the this type of guy he was. I mean, he saw a UFO and like he's like, I'm sick of these assholes. I'm gonna just shoot at them. So, whatever he saw really freaked him out in the woods.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's just, it's those UFOs, it's those aliens again,
Yeah.
man. No,
He
yeah,
always saw cigar-shaped ones at that.
did he?
Yeah. It was always the same type, always cigar-shaped. And there's quite a lot of people in Wisconsin that have seen the same ones. There's a lot of I did do a lot of interviews with MUFON, and there's a lot of times where stories he told me lined up with cases they had from other people in the same town and the town over. So
Right. Okay. Hold that thought, because I was gonna ask you. I've got to ask you this because of Bray Road. Right. Have you come across any compelling evidence or first-hand witness reports regarding the Wisconsin werewolf or dogman during your time in the field? Any standout
I
reports?
just that, but I do have some native friends that do talk about it quite often.
Go on, spill the beans.
They don't really like talking about it, but they do acknowledge it as
Oh,
something
right.
real.
That's the yeah. Do you think it's because they don't like talking about it because it's I know that I spoke at length to an elder of the Blackfoot tribe. And he spoke about Bigfoot, coming over, and Bigfoot being somewhat of a healer. Um But and I sort of like asked him a little bit about, kind of the unnamed one, the one that won't be mentioned, and that he said, well, we used to see them in the edges of the woods, running, but and I kind of like got the impression, I don't know for sure, but I got the impression that what they were talking about, what they were keeping, why they were so worried about talking about it, was because you talk about it and it will come after you. and it's more of a shapeshifter, a
Yeah,
skinwalker.
yeah. They refer to it as bad medicine.
Do you reckon there's any? What's your thoughts on like with shapeshifters and the aliens that we know about? Do you think that there's any correlation between?
No, I think they're two different things.
Because when Bigelow had Skinwalker Ranch, he was quite adamant. One of the reasons that he left was because of the hitchhiker effect, and one reason that he left was because he said it was getting so absurd, and there was a mishmash of events that were happening, both classic UFO sightings to skinwalkers. And very often, I hear about people, and this is quite common, Josh, where on a UFO sighting, they'll often see a kind of a cryptid afterwards, either usually a Bigfoot or a skinwalker afterwards, and that kind of like makes me think, well, I know. This elder from the Blackfoot tribe gave me a story, and he was straight up about it. He told me that him and his son were in a truck, and they were chasing this UFO, and they chased it to like this canyon, and then the UFO dipped down the canyon, and they stopped the truck, and they looked, and when they looked, they didn't see the UFO. What they did see was a massive Bigfoot creature
Hmm.
looking at them. And then that gave chase to them, and it chased them all the way back to the house while they were driving on rough grounds on this pickup. And sometimes when you kind of like, you do an interview and you talk to people, and even though it sounds so absurd, you kind of you got to believe them because they're so genuine with their delivery. The delivery of the account is just so genuine. And it's so concise, their detail, that you can't help but sort of take it on board and think, well, do you know, why would you make up something that absurd in the first place?
Right.
It's so, but what's your bottom line thoughts? You think that cryptids and UFOs are something completely different?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say there's too much evidence of cryptids and UFOs. I mean, even with the tribesmen that I've spoken to, they can call the UFOs and aliens star brothers, and where they call like Dogman like bad magic. Same with shapeshifters. And I actually had an interview. You can watch it. Peter Garcia, he's part native. He was living on the reservation and had a pretty horrific Dogman encounter. Um, yeah, his story was very interesting. He also had a UFO encounter too, and he definitely decides between the two completely different.
Yeah, yeah. Did it ever? Do you ever have uh any follow up events happen to you? I know I do. Now by this I mean, like at home, you kind of like put your keys down. Next thing they're gone, or you might hear your voice being called, and and you shout out to another room, and like you say to your other half, "Hey, darling, did you just call my name?" No, no, I didn't call your name. Why would I do that? Yeah, but I could have heard. I heard my name being called, and it makes you question yourself. But do you have any paranormal stuff happen that you bring home? Have that ever happened at home?
Um, just small things, but I honestly think it's more or less paranormal. I have a lot of friends that are deceased. These people messing with me. This is the same sort of way they messed with me when I was alive.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Um. Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say, what was the single definitive experience in your life that you became fascinated with just the paranormal side of things, the ghosty side, the
I guess it was probably the way I was raised. I mean, I was always pretty much in the paranormal. The fun part was that I always kind of knew it existed. And like I told you beforehand, I was like really enveloped as a teenager and as like a musician into like the punk and goth scene. So with that being said, you know, if you've ever hung around this scene, there's a lot of nihilist people who don't believe in anything. And I would get kicks at taking them on ghost hunts after bar and showing them that there were ghosts and like just kind of destroying their whole framework of mind, which I've done to tons of people. If you go to Sheboygan County and you bring up my name, you'd be like, yeah, that dude took me ghost hunting and changed the way I look at life.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's difficult though, Josh, isn't it? I mean, sort of like because I mean, for me anyway, I go like kind of ghost hunting. I go, you know, investigating places, but these things don't react to order. They kind of like,
No.
you know, it can't be. It's not. We can't. What's the word? It's not contrived. It's not. You know, there's no structure to what happens in the paranormal. If anything, it is very much in a fashion that is playful, is a wind
Yeah.
up. You know, it's kind of like, oh, on your way out after you packed up all your flipping equipment, all your K2, all your REM pods, all your SLS camera, all your infrared, you pack it all up, you go to leave. At the moment you go to leave, it's then that door that wasn't able to be shut slams to in the room.
Yeah.
And you think, who done that? And you go back into the room just to wonder, oh, was it a gust of wind? No, because it was at that point that you see a ashtray move off the table. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it's you know that bearing that in mind. I mean, so like, how do you take someone and prove it to them? How do you do that?
We went to some pretty heavily active places. One was a mental ward that we would go to frequently, which there was always activity happening. It was always a really creepy place to begin with. And like I said, this was like the millennia, like 2010, 2008 area. So there really wasn't all these like REM pods and stuff. We were pretty much using Ouija boards and, you know, like dowsing rods and stuff. Um, the other one we went to was an abandoned Catholic school
Yeah,
where a lot of tragic things happened. Um, in a little town called St. Nazianz. The other one too was a sanitarium, which you know where people with tuberculosis were sent off to die. So, and disclosure, do not go and do these. We did not have permission to go to these places. We broke in.
right.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and yeah,
You're very
I feel like
naughty, Josh.
yeah, but there really
Yeah,
wasn't a time I went where we didn't have something creepy happen in one way or another.
yeah. Uh, so do you reckon that you know places are hotter than other places if there's been previous trauma of some sort, emotional trauma or physical trauma? Do you think they're a hotter place because of it?
I'd say it was the opposite. It was colder.
Yeah,
Yeah. I also was later on employed as a paranormal investigator in Illinois with a group called IPI. One of my really profound ones, we were at a chocolate factory that used to be a apartment building, and there was a young girl that died in the 30s, a very, very young girl. And she took a liking to me, probably because my hair was crazy. I was in a band at the time and had like big red and black mohawk. But There's video footage of it somewhere online, but she was like crawling all over me, and I felt the cold spots. It felt like there was a toddler on me, and that was probably one of my more profound, like emotional experiences that I had was being an investigator.
Right. Yeah, no, I was meaning like kind of hotspot from the point of view of kind of like a lot of activity. Do you
Oh,
know what I mean?
hotspot. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that way. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
So,
The more tragic,
yeah,
the more.
so trauma and stuff like you
Yeah,
reckon, yeah,
yeah. The Catholic. I forget the word for it, but it was a headmaster was sleeping around with nuns. It was a school for girls to become nuns and was doing like
uh-huh,
back alley abortions.
yeah,
And that was like one of the more intense places, that place that I mentioned in St. Ignatius.
right,
I believe it
okay,
is. I believe it is finally been torn down now.
okay, wow, yeah, that's um. Did you know when that girl was over you and you felt that presence? Did it kind of like zap your energy? Did you kind of like lose consciousness, or did it zap your energy at all? Did it make
No,
you feel sick?
I wouldn't say it made me feel sick. It was just really, really profound. I definitely felt the chills, like cold, like ice, instead of that
Yeah,
warm feeling like if a child being on you was like chilly.
yeah. Hmm. Interesting, isn't it? It is. What do you reckon happens to us, Josh, when we pass over?
Um, I think if you can't cross over, you stay kind of stuck. But then again, I'm not sure about that because I have friends, like I said, that have passed that still I feel around me that fuck with me sometimes. Like my keys will go missing and they'll end up in like my kitchen sink. It's like
Yeah,
they were,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And like my buddy would do stuff to me like that when we were alive. And it's like, I know who's doing it.
It's the weirdest thing, isn't it? Absolutely weirdest
Yeah.
thing. Um, have you with the paranormal, very often it goes hand in hand with sightings of cryptids. Um, have you go out in the woods, boots on the ground, don't you?
Yeah.
Have you ever come across anything
Well,
that you can't explain that way?
just that one with my grandfather. I mean, there's times I've had creepy feelings too. Um, but not not really. I wish I would have had like a Bigfoot experience. I don't think I'm calm enough for them. I think my mind's too chaotic, so they kind of probably avoid me.
No. Yeah, yeah, they're probably like, yeah, they'd be like, wow, that guy is so hyper. Yes, like,
Yeah, he's way too high strung. Let's just ignore him. But I do have friends that went to a cemetery that we used to always go for a paranormal investigation. It's
mm,
the oldest one in the state. It's called, oh, what is it called? Oh, Glenbilla Cemetery. It's the oldest
uh-huh.
one in the state, and they were using recreational herbs to say, and they got pelted with rocks when they went through the woods by it. And they swear up and down to this day that they're like, yeah, something was just throwing rocks. Do you think it was a spirit, Josh? I was like, that's really somebody else's MO.
What?
It is also attached to the Glacier Trail here,
Mm,
which there's a lot of Bigfoot sightings. So I kind of inclined to believe them. I've even interviewed quite a different group of Bigfoot experts from around the area, and they actually like right around where they do their investigations.
right. Do you think I mean, I'm in two minds about, you know, people that do like shrooms or DMT or ayahuasca. any of those that are mind altering.
Well,
They're
I don't think it mind altered them too much because they were recreational smokers and they literally didn't go investigate. They went to get away from the
so they were
public.
more they were more chilled out. You mean that sort
Yeah,
of
yeah.
that sort of
And
message, yeah.
they were sitting around smoking and they got pelted with rocks and chased
Okay.
back to their
Yeah,
car.
yeah.
And I mean, you know, like usually people are pretty relaxed when they do that, not hyped up and chased.
Yeah.
I mean, he even had welts on him, unless he literally they threw rocks at each other to screw with me, which I doubt.
Were they by a river? Was a cemetery by a river?
Yeah, yeah, actually,
It was, yeah.
yeah,
Okay. That could have been why then. Yeah.
yeah,
That could have been why. Because I mean, it's becoming more evident now that early man spent an awful lot of time in and around water, lakes, rivers, because it was the easiest. They found out, early man did, that it was less energy expense and higher protein to fish.
yeah,
And they would very often have a lot of the crustaceans and shellfish and fish, as in fish as well. So I think that that's probably why Bigfoot is so territorial when it comes to waters. Very often you hear about them going ape shit, with stones and
yeah,
stuff when people are by waterways, so I think that's a territorial thing. Yeah, yeah, because it's a food source and it's an easy food source. You don't have to go running across any open ground chasing a white-tailed deer when you can just go and fish and very little energy expense, so and just as high up protein, if not more. But no, interesting though. Very, very interesting.
They literally thought I was ghost doing it to them when they brought it up to me, and I was
Yeah.
like, no, probably something else.
Yeah. Have you seen that Spielberg film?
I
Day
have
of
not yet.
Disclosure?
I gotta go see it with my wife.
I haven't
She's
seen it yet.
looking for it. Not yet.
Okay, I won't spoil it. I won't spoil it. You know, but yeah. Do you think do you reckon we'll get disclosure?
I honestly am not sure. I feel like my government's doing the whole dropping bits and pieces to cover up the Epstein files, and it really infuriates me. 'Cause it's kind of like they stole disclosure away from us, actual researchers, and I feel like they're just feeding us kind of a load of crap.
Yeah, I think I think I think the hole goes pretty deep with the Epstein and everything else. Do you know? I think there's a
Yeah,
lot of big names involved, and uh, that's part of the reason why they're like, no, we're not doing it.
yeah,
Because money talks at the end of the day, man. Money talks, and they're just not they're not going to you know put their chips in. They're just not going to do that, not easily anyway. So but no disclosure. I don't know. I think part of me thinks possibly. The thing is, it gets me with the alien. I've said this before, Josh. Is we keep sort of like I went to a CE5 group, Leicester CE5 group, and I mean they've done a good job. And let me tell you, right, with CE5, I'm sure it does work. It really does work. The meditation and the group, single focus on the group, wanting to see stuff works. I think um, a single focused uh, uh, intent does bring about a result. So I think it does work. My issue really is what are they and what their intention are before we put the welcome mat out and open up that door and allow them to come in. Come in. I'd like to know really what their intent is and what they're all about. Because
Right.
at the moment they don't seem to give a goddamn about us at the moment. Really, I mean, if they wanted to land on your front yard and say hello, Josh, how you doing, mate? They would do. They've got the capability to
Right.
do that.
Like I
But I
tell
don't.
other people, do you try to disclose who you are to the ants that you see or the deer when you're in the woods?
Yeah, 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 exactly. I think it's I don't know. Josh, I just there's something about it which doesn't sit right with me. That one, they don't seem to give a. They seem to ignore us for the better part of
Yeah.
things. They only we kind of like take a lot of we think they're putting out the olive branch to us when we see footage of them zapping a warhead out the sky, and we think that's because they obviously want to protect us. I don't think they want to particularly protect us. I think probably they want that we have something that they want and need that they want to conserve. But for disclosure, I don't know. I don't think it really is going to happen, and maybe it shouldn't. Personally, not until we know exactly what it is we're dealing with. Do you know?
Yeah.
No,
I don't
I don't
know.
think.
Like, I had a guest that I was pretty close with. He actually passed away about 2 years ago. He was really big into MUFON. He was actually the California director, Earl Grey, and he had tons of stories about them helping children, helping the sick, and then elderly. I mean, I think there are ones that genuinely care about us, but like they just kind of came in and helped. They didn't like introduce themselves. I mean, I think they're probably like us. There's good, there's bad, there's the in between. Where a lot of people, especially in the new age scene, think there's are like these angelic beings that are gonna come and fix all of our problems, and I don't think it's that at all. And my problem with that too, a lot of the people that push that agenda are making a lot of money. And then you have the other people that are pushing that they are these evil, violent demons that are here to take over, and they make a lot of money pushing that narrative. That's my problem with the whole. I mean, even with the paranormal and cryptid scene, there's a lot of people just making money and not
Yeah,
actually doing research.
yeah, I agree. I think people get whooped up with it because it just so happens that you're quite right. A lot of people that seem to push the agenda forward either have a book, a documentary, or
Or all the above. And I always say
or all
follow the
the above.
plastic surgery. Follow
You
the
know,
plastic surgery. If somebody's constantly
yeah,
canning and getting and collagen and they're looking
yeah,
younger and younger, they're probably full of shit.
yeah. That's
I,
it.
I,
Yeah,
uh, I was actually, when I first got started, I was taken under a wing of a lady who's pretty famous. I guess I probably won't name drop her. If you want to go do the research, you'll find who I'm talking about. And she kind of screwed me. I helped really push her book along with another content creator, and she was charging. People were selling their homes to go to her conferences. She looks younger than me now, and she's probably in her um late 60s. Uh, Multimillionaire, and it's just ridiculous. And some of the stuff, if you like read, if you just look deep enough, she's stealing from the Transformers and the Power Rangers and Star Wars and cartoons and just meshing it all together. And what she does, what a lot of these new age people do, is they talk about med beds and they talk about how they can help people with cancer and they prey on the elderly. And that pisses me off to no end.
mm,
when you're preying on the people that are trying to cling to life and looking for hope, when you give them false hope for profit. And I think
Yeah.
there's way too much of that going on. I actually did some research on her after all this happens, and she's actually belongs to a cult that's similar to Scientology, but from France.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And there's a
Uh,
whole bunch of these cults that tell people, yeah, we can enlighten you and you'll be taken to another planet, but you got to give us a percentage of everything you own. And there's so many people. I mean, so many people that are desperate and do it.
yeah. It's yeah. Well, you see, it's something that it's great because it's a kind of a blank canvas for them, and they
Mhm.
can embellish whatever they want to on it, and they can slap a bit of this paint on, slap a bit of that paint on, and then sell the whole, kit and caboodle and say, right, okay, that's me book, that's what I follow. This is a new religion based on it, and I want you to pay me X amount of money if you want to join.
Yeah.
But I can offer you, kind of like salvation.
Yeah.
And it just sort of, I mean, I'm Christian, Josh.
I
Right.
have to an extent.
Uh,
My
and I think,
problem with them was I would start kicking doors because I got that punk rocker attitude, and they'd talk about the Palladians especially, and I was like, "How come?" And she wouldn't answer questions that I would say live, and it would really piss her off. I'd be like, "How come in every depiction of the Palladians they have guns?" And she's like, "Well, they need to protect themselves." So I was like, "Yeah, that kind of sounds like a U.S. Marine would say." And then
yeah,
she get all angry, and she's like, what are you getting at?" I was like, "Well, higher beings that carry guns want to take over things. That's what
yeah,
America's done with everything that we've done."
yeah,
Oh, you think
yeah.
we became America? That's
I
not what
mean,
they're
no,
doing.
it's true though, isn't it? It's like, I mean, while we're having a sort of like a bit of a bitch, I mean, the narrative changes when you question people, some people about what they saw with the aliens and stuff like that. It slightly changes. You mentioning about like the guns, oh, they seem to have like, and it changes so that, oh no, it is for protection, and it is, uh, and I just kind of, I mean, in a lot of legacy testimony of witnesses, the aliens just seem to be hardcore. They just don't give a crap, and they don't care about the person being prodded and poked and tortured, for want of a better word, really. Because I mean, sort of like, if that was a person doing it to another person, they'd be kind of like have a SWAT team down on them and arrested.
Hmm.
Uh, and the trauma that they leave people in. So I never really quite get. That's why I think you'll be disappointed when you watch the film. You'll see through it. You'll see through it, but I won't give too much away. But yeah, it's just a bit. It's just a bit of a shame, really. I mean, I think that we've got to temper sort of with the logic a little bit. In with this bloody UAP business.
Yeah.
I think that there is something there. I've seen kind of cylinder type objects. Uh, I saw one, most standout one I saw was with my mates, and we were having a bit of smoke in the car, me and two other guys, and we were just chilling out, and we were at this high spot overlooking London, with all the lights going. It was at night time, and then the cylinder came across the sky. It looked like a cigar, but it was green and blue and glowing. As it came closer and closer and closer, and it sort of speeded up. And I just had a chance to say to my mate in the back, because he was like bongoed anyway, but I said, "Look, look." And he turned round. As he did, this whole light just lit up the back of the car. But the inside of the car, kind of like, it was real funny. All our faces, our jaws were like kind of on the car seat, We were just like, kind of just looking at each other like, in this glow of blue green in the car. And then we saw it go, and it kind of like went past the back of the car and went off into the forest. And it ended up, we tried to chase it, in our own sort of imbecilic way, because you know, you know,
The most
we weren't in the best state, Josh, put it that way,
the most wild one I saw was on my 30th birthday with my wife, and we were at her parents' house, which is way up north, kind of a cabin. No light pollution because they're like far out of the city. I saw a star destroy another star with a blue beam. So I mean, it clearly wasn't a star, and that was wild. I literally saw it hit this light, hit another light, and that light extinguish out. And what was that? And she saw it too, so I wasn't like hallucinating. We weren't even drinking or doing anything at the time. We were just together enjoying a campfire. And this is kind of like when I first started doing the podcasting. This was like when I was fairly new to Dark Mirror.
Wow. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? What did your
And
missus think of it?
she
What did
was
she say?
like, wow. She's actually had experiences. I'm not really going to talk too much about it. I don't know if I'm allowed to. She's a very private person. But
Mm,
yeah, we were both pretty shocked.
yeah. Do you think are we tagged? Do you think people that have experiences are kind of, because we get, you spoke earlier about there's a lot of nihilistic thought out there, which no, doesn't exist, doesn't happen, never happened to me, and everything is kind of accountable. I mean, I often say to people like that, I say, are you telling me that throughout your life, and these people are not spring chickens, some of them are like that I talk to, because I'm old anyway, and they're in their 40s, 50s, and up. And I go, your whole of your life, you've had nothing happen to you that you can't explain, that you
I
can
think
explain.
I think it's a frame of mind. I think it's self-doubt. A lot of them people.
Do you think they just don't admit it happens to them, but
Yeah.
they just don't admit?
Yeah. I think it has to do with your belief process too, a lot of it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it could well be, couldn't it? I suppose. But sometimes people that, I've spoken to witnesses on the show before now that have come on, and they really don't want to have any experiences. That's the weird thing. They don't want to have the experiences.
Hmm.
It's terrified them. And they're like, if we had a choice, Phil, we would rather, you know, not have seen it, not have experienced it, and not be on your show. Do you know what I mean? Talking about it.
Yeah, 100% know what you're getting at too. I think there's a lot of stigmatism, especially back in the day. There was way more stigmatism about it, and that's what it has to do. You know,
Mm,
I've talked to a lot of old vets, especially Vietnam vets, that have seen Bigfoot and have had Dogman experiences. And I don't like it. They get very uncomfortable, and it's always you always know somebody's not bullshitting too when they were in a war and they have had an experience, and that's what disturbed them. You know what I mean? I
yeah.
have one guy that I talked about something taking out his deer out of his pickup truck and ripping the bed off, not the bed, but like his tailgate off. And Black Bear's not going to do that. I have another guy who was actually close family friend who was a Green Beret in Vietnam, talking about rocks, big rocks being thrown at his campsite, his deer campsite, and it deeply disturbing him. And I mean, dude's seen way, way worse things than Bigfoot, but that's, I mean, I think it's the feeling and the smell and the disbelief. You know what I mean? Especially if you're trained for nature and then you see this thing that's
Yeah.
the government
Yeah.
didn't prepare you for.
Yeah. Did any of them? Did they ever mention like what they thought it was? Did they like kind
Oh
of,
yeah.
'cause some people
They
think
knew
they're like super
they did the
sensitive.
research. He knew what it was.
He knew what it was.
He knew what it was. He completely hunts out of state now because of it. It was banging on trees, rocks thrown at him. He left. He packed up his gear and ended his hunting season. And dude,
Right. And you
yeah,
no, but
dude,
what you're saying is that he knew it was either whatever he saw, a Dogman or a Bigfoot, yeah? A Bigfoot.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. But with his training, with the military training, did any of them kind of like come across to you, or did you get an idea that because
Everything that he told me, his sense in his gut and his heart told him to leave. Don't fight, don't engage. This was a time of retreat.
right,
I'm
okay,
in somebody else's forest. I don't belong here. I need to remove myself from the situation, even being armed.
Mm.
So,
odd, isn't it? When you think that is really crazy, isn't it? It's like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because I mean, have you ever gone through that bubble of silence? Have you ever, when you've been in the woods, have you had that where like everything goes silent around you?
There's times when I grew up in the country, so there was times like where I was leaving parties and stuff, and I was not everything was eerily quiet, and I was really, really paranoid. I was young too, so
Because it's odd when that happens.
yeah.
I've experienced that. And that's odd when it happens. And the oddest part of it, Josh, is you don't. It's not like you imagine you're walking into a from a busy street, and you go through this doorway on the street, and it's a soundproof room. You're aware that you're walking through a door when you're doing that, hypothetically, okay? But when you're walking in the woods, you're not aware that you've walked into a soundproof room, that bubble
Right.
of silence. You're just not aware of it until you're kind of like halfway through, and then it dawns on you, and you kind of like then register. I can't hear the. There's a road nearby where this happened. There's a road. There's a road. It's not many miles away. It's not in the deepest part of any forest or wood. There's a road nearby, and you can quite clearly hear traffic normally. There's always bloody cars going up and down, because a lot of the boy racers used to use it as a mad mile, to see what they can get out of their motor down that, because not a lot of old build down there, please. So, and I walked through these woods, and I saw a couple of structures, and then all of a sudden I was in this spot where it's like no flipping noise, none, Josh. Complete. I couldn't hear the sound of the road. It was, but it was like almost like it was a soundproof area, if you like. It was completely silent.
I've talked to other researchers who refer to this as, I want to say, Infrasound. And a lot of the Bigfoot guys talk about it.
Yeah. What do you reckon to it? Do you reckon that's possible with infrasound?
I honestly think they're probably interdimensional beings, and it's probably something about you're probably maybe partially in another realm. One that's happening.
Right. So that's your would your stance be then? Your stance would be that these like Dogmen or Bigfoot would be from another realm, another
Something like
dimension.
that. I don't know about so much the Dogman, but I think the Bigfoots are probably like an offshoot of something like the Fae.
Hmm. I've heard that before. People mentioning about that. Yeah. I've also heard that people mentioning about the Fae in regards to greys and aliens.
I've heard that too. I'm not sure if I believe that them are one and the same though. Um, but definitely with the Bigfoot, a lot of people who I've interviewed that were looking for Bigfoot that then I've circle back around with a couple of years later that have found them go from I want to show the real Bigfoot to this is something very sacred. I'm not going to disclose where I've seen it or how I had the experience. These are something very, very sacred and need to be protected. They don't want to be disturbed. If you want to do it yourself, go ahead and do it. But I don't know. It's almost like they gain this respect.
You don't have to answer this. What do you think to the Patterson-Gimlin film? True or false?
I'd say true. I don't think it was false. I think it was the new whole. I saw a little bit of the documentary. I think it was a cash grab because he's dead, and I've seen it time and again with different with Bigfoot, with Dogman, with Grays. That once somebody has some thorough evidence and they're gone, their family members try to cash in on it, and that's what I think this new documentary was.
Okay. Yeah, because that's not released yet, the new documentary, is it? I still think it's not released, is it? Yeah. Capturing Bigfoot?
I'm not sure. I've seen parts of it. I've had friends that were like, blah, 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 blah. It was a big deal. Honestly, I think it was a cash grab. I mean, Patterson-Gimlin kind of have a very sketchy past to begin with.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he
But
did.
I mean, if you compare it to like what Hollywood was doing at the time with like Planet of the Apes, the costume would have been like way, way advanced. And how come Hollywood couldn't pull it off with that multi-million-dollar movie?
It just seems, yeah, it just seems though that it's a bit, to me, that Kodachrome, like the film, the camera they were using. I know they were out there filming a documentary. They wanted to film a documentary or a film.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a big believer in, there's no such thing as coincidences. I think our fate is always right. From the day we're born to the day we pass over, I think everything is kind of like mapped out for us. Yeah. And I think that, what we take to be coincidences or decisions aren't really. I think it's all kind of like, if we come to a T junction and it can go left or go right, and we decide to go right, we were meant to go right anyway because it's written to go right. And I just find it very difficult with that in mind that they just so happen to capture a Bigfoot which knows how to camouflage, that knows how to evade detection normally, that is 110% a master of its environment, seems to
I
be.
mean, the film's real short and it is filmed on horseback. So I would definitely say my most believable part is the female features on Patty. That's what makes me believe.
Yeah. Yeah, that was original. That was original to find with the boobies and stuff. That was original for its day. For its day, it was original. Patterson, didn't he write a book though? He illustrated a book with a female one in, which looked identical to the Patterson-Gimlin actual film itself. that was all kind of brought up. I don't know for sure until I see that documentary, the new documentary.
Yeah.
But at the moment, do you know, that camera does it for me because, you know, back in the day, that was like 10,000 in our money now, about £10,000 worth of equipment that they had.
Yeah.
And it just sort of, if it was me, I'd be like well gutted. I'd be so gutted if I rented that and I went home and nothing afterwards. I'd be gutted.
Right.
Yeah, do you see where I'm going? Yeah. So, you know,
I
that's
have
kind of,
faith in it still, though. That's where I'm gonna leave my thesis.
yeah, yeah. Right, I think we've got a question for you.
All right, shoot, because we're kind of running short on time. I gotta watch
Oh,
my
okay,
kids. Mom,
okay.
gotta go to work
All
fairly
right, yeah,
soon.
no problem. Then.
Oh,
All right,
questions.
yeah,
Shoot.
just one. Right, we got Andy Penn says, Josh, what do you know about the?
Oh, Hodag
Okay.
in Rhinelander. It's a great big country festival. The Hodag is 100% fake. Dude was known as a shyster himself. He captured the Hodag. He had the entire town come, and he took everybody's money. And he originally said, "It's too wild up. It will kill you. You cannot come in my barn. Come back tomorrow." And his barn caught fire.
What the hell?
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, it died. It died in the flames. All sales are final." We have nothing representing anything green or alligator-ish or lizard here in Wisconsin either. So, I mean, I
All
love the
sales are
history
final.
of it.
No
Yeah,
refunds. No refunds, man.
yeah. The high school team in Rhinelander uses the symbol of the Hodag. They have the big monster on their football helmets. There's a great big country western festival, and they also have kind of like the Mothman statue. They have a great big statue of it. I love the lore, but yeah, that guy was definitely a liar.
Bloody hell. Got another quick one. What do you know about unexplained deaths in rural counties?
I haven't heard much about unexplained deaths. The whole thing with the Beast of Bray Road is really hard to investigate because it's all farmland and they're very close-knit family and they don't like people on their land. I don't think it's something really to do because of werewolves. I think it's more or less they don't want people screwing with their crops. But Linda Gottfried got close to these people and she had a lot of pretty good evidence.
Is it the same original family that lived there that were there originally with Linda Gottfried?
Multi-generations. And they're all one community and they own most of the land all the way around Bray Road.
Okay, because you can't stop on Bray Road anymore, can you? You can't park anywhere. You can't stop anywhere.
You can't park. You can just drive. That's it.
Yeah. Do you think they're grifted? I mean, grifting at all? Do you think they're like kind of
No,
using
I
the
think
area?
they just really rely on their farms for their financial means, and they don't want the publicity. They don't want people stomping their crops. So I think that's all there is to it.
Damn, it would be so cool to talk to them, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. But this has been going on since the 80s, so they're probably so sick of this.
Yeah, probably.
And a couple bad eggs ruined it for everybody.
Yeah. No, that's it. Yeah, I suppose they get. Once you open the floodgates to one, the whole lot come in, don't they? Investigating wise, and that's it. And then it's sort of just stunned to death, then, isn't it? Okay, right, Josh. I know you got to go.
All right, thanks.
All right, you take care. All right, thank you very much for being on. I appreciate it. All right,
anytime. I'll come back anytime. You got to come on my show now.
All right, yeah, for sure, definitely. All right, and take care, brother.
You too.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Bye. Oh, yeah. Okay, that was cool. Nice guy. I just want to give a shout out to people. Got Dawn, Sasquatch Sister in the comments, and I haven't forgotten about the black cat. It's just I've been like kind of busy. Seriously, honestly, I was working earlier, and then but I will dig it out for you. I will dig it out and send it. Hello, Andy Penn. Thank you very much for the questions. Keith, got Keith Aston. Hello. Let's have a look. Got Roxy B, thank you for being admin. Do appreciate it. Delroy Kelly. Hello, very nice for you to be here again. Ooh, what's that? Let's have a look. Poppy Peepee. Jason Finch, are you a real person? I swear I sent you. Okay, hello, Poppy Peepee. I like the handle. Quite cool. Keith Aston. Jason Finch. Hello, Jason. Drew Hullings, yes. Paranormal short. Oh, my teeth. Paranormal short sessions. Yes. Okay. Keith Evans. Hello, Keith. Let's have a look. See who else. If there's anyone in there. There's quite a few. Thank you very much, because I'm surprised a lot of people aren't down the pub with a pint in their hand in a garden somewhere. Such a lovely afternoon. And the evening's nice as well, actually, isn't it? It's still quite hot in here, to be honest. Yeah, I was going to mention about disclosure, but my point of view with disclosure, but time is running out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a special show where it's just me. And I don't roll your eyes back into your head, please don't. It's I've done a bit of research and digging around, and I've got a new take, if you like, a new view, okay, on this whole disclosure debacle. So yeah, I'll share that with you at some point, if that's okay. All right, but other than that, I just want to say thank you very, very much for being on. Do appreciate it. Take care of yourselves. God bless. Have a lovely, lovely weekend, and shall see you soon. All right.
I know what I saw out there.